Last night, the Indiana Pacers defeated the Cleveland Cavaliers 120 to 119 in a thrilling victory off of a game winner by Tyrese Halliburton. This loss is very devastating for the Cavs. Going down 2-0 and losing the first two home games is always devastating for any team. I think it's I wouldn't say I think. I know it's very rare in NBA history a team has come back from losing the first two home games in the series. Granted, it's happened a few times in my lifetime. I remember one time vividly when I was a kid, way back in 1994, when the Rockets lost the first two home games to the Phoenix Suns back in the second round, only to bounce back and eventually win that series in 7 games. So it can be done. It definitely can. But I think in this situation, it'll be very hard for like the Cavs to bounce back and come back in the series due to them being banged up and injured. I would say that's a huge reason why they're down. I didn't watch game one, so I can't really comment on what happened in game one of the series, but I did watch game two, and I had to say the Cavs were dealt an unfair hand in the sense that they didn't have three key players for this game available. They did not have Evan Mobley. They did not have Garland. And they did not have Hunter. All three of these guys are very important players in their team. I would say 2 out of 3 of these guys are their second, third best player. And you could say Hunter, arguably, you can make a case for being the fifth best player, I would say, after Jared Allen. So you're missing your number 2, your number 3 guy, and your fifth guy. That's going to be very hard to overcome in a playoff series, even if you have your best player available in Donovan Mitchell. Now, I will say Donovan deserves a lot of credit for all the heart he played with last night. I have dismissed Donovan for years since when he was in Utah. I felt his Jazz teams underachieved when they had the home court advantage. They managed to blow series, but I'm not going to blame the way the series goes on Donovan Mitchell, because how much can you really blame someone if they don't have a full team at strength? I think it's easy to blame him since he's the best player on this team and they're down 0-2 and they should be up, but it's all about context. They don't have their full team. I feel it's only really appropriate to blame a player for not showing up in a series. And granted, Donovan showed up. I believe a star player deserves blame is either he doesn't show up in the series. Let's say that he's not the favorite to win the series, but he doesn't show up. He has a subpar performance like Jalen Green did during the Warriors series. Then he deserves a lot of blame because you're supposed to show up if you're a star. I think that's when you deserve the blame. Or if you have the team stacked in your favor, you have the talent to win, and you don't win despite having the better team, then you deserve blame. I think in both these scenarios, you had to give Donovan an exemption. Especially if he continues to play like he did last night. Like, he did everything he could to try to will his team to win last night. I saw that game. He was playing with a lot of heart. He was getting fouled hard. He took some hard hits to the ground. He was driving to the hole. He had a few amazing dunks he threw into that game. He was driving. He was relentless. And he was forcing the issue. He was getting he was getting hit and getting and ones. He was doing it all. He was doing as much as he could, as much as his body would allow. He was giving it all, max effort. If this was like a video game, I felt like it was like one of those street fighting games where you're like operating on a small power grid, but you're still giving it your all. And it's to a point where if you do another special move, that your body's going to explode or you're going to lose power off of the power grid. So that's the way I viewed it. Like, he did everything imaginable to try to win this game, and it failed. I think there was some crucial mistakes at the end with less than a minute left. I remember the Cavs had like a 7-point lead, and that's when it fell apart. There was just a terrible sequence of events. There was one at the free throw line. I forgot who on the Pacers missed their free throw, and I think Siakam missed like 2 free throws. He misses a second free throw. Then out of nowhere, I'm trying to remember who got the putback dunk. It was Naismith. Naismith gets this putback dunk off of the Siakam miss. And the putback dunk is so vicious because he gets it right on Donovan Mitchell as Donovan's trying to secure the rebound. Not only does he dunk it, but as he gets the dunk off and falls down, it's like he wraps his arm around Donovan Mitchell's neck and just throws him on the ground right with him. It's something you need to watch. You just watch that clip. I felt that was a dirty play by Naismith in the sense that he fell down and he used Donovan's body as his balance to land, but it was in a dirty way where he wrapped his arm around the neck like it was like some kind of wrestling takedown move. Lucky for him, the refs didn't call anything, but I thought that was dirty at the end. And you could see Donovan was in a lot of pain. He was rolling on the ground. And then when he finally got up, he was pissed off. He was angry about that. And I think anybody would, to be honest, in that situation. But I think he let his emotions get the best out of him because by then the Cavs were only up by 5 points. And I think he had the ball. I remember he had the ball and Naismith was crowding him. And instead of just holding the ball calmly or even calling a timeout, he ended up elbowing Naismith in the face, which was not a smart move by a veteran like Donovan. He elbowed him. I think that was out of anger and frustration. The refs called an offensive foul, so they lose possession. And then the Pacers get the ball and they score quickly. I think it was on a layup. I think it might have been by Siakam or Tyrese. And then it's like down to 3. So then it's only a 3-point lead with 20-some seconds left. The Cavs has to inbound the ball. Max Strus does a terrible inbound pass that leads to a steal. Tyrese gets the steal, and then he's fouled. He's fouled on a drive attempt, I believe. He makes the first free throw. He misses the second free throw, and then the Cavs couldn't get the rebound. He gets the rebound, and then he just wastes the time for a final shot. That took a lot of moxie on him. I give him that, and he hits the 3 to win the game. So that was kind of like an epic collapse by the Cavs that could have been avoided had they made some smart decisions. I felt like if Donovan did not elbow Naismith out of anger and just call a timeout, they're still up by 5. They can inbound the ball properly. Someone would have gotten fouled. Most likely they hit the free throws, and then they're up by 7 again. And it's difficult for the Pacers to come back. But I felt just that offensive foul by Donovan just opened up Pandora's box for the Cavs and just resulted in their downfall. So that was the biggest mistake Mitchell made in that situation. These games are won by inches in the playoffs, and then Strus throwing that inbounds pass, resulting in a turnover, was huge. Those two events just screwed it up for the Cavs. They could have a do-over, just not getting the offensive foul, not screwing up on the inbounds pass, and they win this game. Two simple things, and it cost them. That's why during the playoffs, you got to be smart. You got to make the smart decisions. It was kind of similar to what happened with OKC the other night. They could have won that game against the Nuggets had they properly finished the game, but you saw carelessness on both parts on OKC and then the Cavs last night. So I'm not going to blame Donovan. If the Cavs lose this series, he played his heart out. I'm sure he'll continue to fight hard in Indiana. But I think the situation is now very bleak for the Cavs. Are the Cavs overrated? It's hard to say. We just don't know, simply because they don't have a full team right now. Any team that loses a key group of guys, 3 or 4 core players during a playoff series, is definitely not going to be able to play at the level they've been playing during the regular season. So I think that's the damn shame about this all, that we didn't get to see a Cavs team at full strength. And I say this as someone who's neutral. I'm not a fan of either team, but I always like to see teams at full strength during the playoffs. That gives a better gauge of how good they really are. And we don't really know how great this Cavs team could have been had they had their full team all together. So that's all I want to say. And I just want to give Donovan Mitchell props for just being competitive, showing fire out there when he could have easily given up and almost dragging his team to victory. That was an admirable effort from him, unlike the effort I saw last night by Anthony Edwards. So that's all I had to say.